At the top of the world, in the empty Arctic wilderness of Svalbard, Norway, the sun hangs low over a kingdom of ice and rock. It is one of the most remote places on Earth, a place of deep silence. And out of the side of a frozen mountain, something impossible juts out. It is a long, sharp wedge of concrete and steel, pointing to the sky. At night, a faint turquoise light glows from its entrance, a beacon in the endless dark. This isn't an ancient ruin or a secret military base. It is a doorway to the most important library on the planet. This strange remote location was chosen for a very specific reason. This small patch of Earth is incredibly stable. There are no major earthquakes here. The ground does not shake. It is solid, quiet, and safe, a perfect foundation for a structure meant to last forever. The vault is also built high up on the mountainside. It sits 430 feet above sea level. This means that even if all the ice on Earth were to melt, raising the oceans to their highest possible levels, this place would remain dry. It is a fortress against the floods of the future. But the real genius of this location is the cold itself. The mountain is locked in permafrost, ground that has been frozen solid for thousands of years. This natural freezer acts as the ultimate backup. Even if all the power on the island failed, the precious cargo inside would stay frozen and safe for centuries, protected by the mountain's icy heart. So, what is this cargo? Inside this vault is an ark. It holds the backup copies of the world's food supply. There are over 1.2 million unique seed samples stored here. Each one is a blueprint for life. These aren't just any seeds. They represent more than 6,000 different species of plants from nearly every country on Earth, from common grains like wheat and rice to rare regional vegetables that only a single village might grow. It is a living catalog of our planet's edible plants. Think about that. 12,000 years of human farming, of trial and error, of culture and survival is all gathered here. Every meal you've ever eaten has a relative stored deep inside this frozen mountain. It is the genetic history of our civilization, sealed in foil packets. To get to them, you must pass through 5 heavy, locked steel doors. The first door opens into a long concrete tunnel. It stretches over 100 meters, sloping deep down into the core of the mountain. The air immediately grows still and intensely cold. As you walk deeper, the walls of the tunnel begin to sparkle. They are covered in a delicate, shimmering layer of ice crystals. The moisture from your own breath freezes instantly, adding to the glittering frost. It feels like you are walking into the belly of a sleeping glacier, a silent, frozen cathedral built to guard our future. After passing through several heavy, sealed doors, you arrive. This is the heart of the vault. The air is so cold and dry, it feels sharp. Before you are 3 massive chambers blasted deep into the mountain rock. This is the Seed Cathedral. It is a library of life, built to outlast us all. Inside, the silence is total. The chambers stretch out, lined with huge industrial shelves that reach from the floor to the high, rock-hewn ceiling. On these shelves sit thousands upon thousands of sealed boxes. Each one is a neat silver package, looking simple and unassuming. They are from every nation on Earth. Each box contains the future. Inside are the seeds of crops that feed humanity. Wheat from Mexico, rice from India, sorghum from Africa. They are kept at a constant freezing 18 degrees Celsius. This is the optimal temperature to pause life, to keep these tiny genetic blueprints safe for centuries. But what happens if the power fails? What if the advanced cooling systems shut down and the mountain is left alone in the dark? This is the most common question, and the answer reveals the real genius of this place. The technology is just the first line of defense. The mountain itself is the ultimate fail-safe. The vault is surrounded by permafrost, a thick layer of earth that has been frozen solid for thousands of years. This natural freezer stays at a steady 3 degrees Celsius all on its own. Even with a total power failure, the seeds would remain frozen. They would stay safe. The engineering is brilliant, but the political system that runs the vault is even more so. It works on a simple idea called the black box principle. This is the secret to its global trust. It ensures that no single country has control over this precious resource. Think of it like a bank's safety deposit box. The nations and institutions that send their seeds here are depositors. They don't give their seeds to Norway, they simply store them. Norway is the guardian of the vault, but it never owns what's inside. The depositor is the only one with the key. Only the institution that put the seeds in can ever ask for them back. This simple rule removes all politics. It allows countries that might not trust each other to share this space. They don't need to trust each other. They only need to trust the system. For years, the vault was just an idea, a powerful insurance policy against a future catastrophe, a backup for a doomsday scenario that felt distant and unreal. The doors were sealed, the seeds were frozen, and the world hoped it would never be needed. Except, that's not what happened. The test came much sooner than anyone expected. It wasn't a global apocalypse that threatened our food supply. It was a regional one, a crisis centered on a specific vital seed bank, the International Center for Agricultural Research in the Dry Areas, or ICARDA, which was based in Aleppo, Syria. Then, the unthinkable happened. The system was tested not by a global catastrophe, but by a human one. The Syrian civil war tore through the city of Aleppo, home to a vital international seed bank called ICARDA. The scientists there were guardians of ancient, drought-resistant crops from the Fertile Crescent. These were irreplaceable seeds. As the war closed in, they had to flee for their lives. They left their entire collection behind. But they weren't panicked. They weren't defeated, because years earlier, with incredible foresight, they had sent duplicates of their most precious seeds to that frozen mountain in Svalbard. The backup plan was now the only plan. And this is the most incredible part of the story. The scientists, now refugees themselves, requested a withdrawal from Svalbard. They took those seeds to new, safe homes in Morocco and Lebanon. But they didn't just plant them to eat. They did something much more profound. They painstakingly planted every seed. They grew the crops, harvested the new seeds, and slowly, carefully, rebuilt their entire collection from scratch. And then, once the library of life was whole again, they sent a new shipment of seeds right back to Svalbard, completing the circle. It was an act of pure, stubborn hope. So why does any of this matter to you in your home right now? Because the food you eat depends on this. That genetic diversity, the stuff stored in the vault, is the raw material for our future. It's the toolkit we need to create stronger crops. When a new disease suddenly wipes out a type of wheat, or a massive drought threatens the world's corn, scientists will turn to these ancient varieties. They will look for the tough genes that can survive. The vault isn't just preserving the past, it's protecting the future of your dinner table. Now, zoom out for a second. The Svalbard Vault isn't the only seed bank on Earth. There are over 1,700 of them scattered across the globe. They are amazing local libraries of biodiversity, each one protecting regional treasures. But many of these smaller banks are vulnerable. They can be hit by a hurricane, lose their funding, or get caught in a political conflict, just like the one in Syria. Svalbard is different. It is the insurance policy for all of them. It is the final, ultimate backup for all of humanity's food. So that glowing doorway in the side of a frozen mountain is so much more than a building. It's not a tomb for forgotten plants. It's a monument to foresight. It represents a profound act of global cooperation, a quiet promise we are making to generations we will never meet, a silent testament to hope in a very uncertain world. It is more than just a backup. It's a library of life's programming. Each seed holds a unique story, a story of adaptation written over thousands of years. It tells how a plant learned to survive drought or fight a new disease. This genetic library is priceless for our future. Imagine a new blight attacks a major crop, like wheat. Scientists could come here to this frozen mountain. They could search for an ancient wheat variety that naturally resisted a similar blight centuries ago. That old code could save our future food. The vault is a stunning act of global teamwork. Nearly every country on Earth has sent seeds here. It doesn't matter what their politics are or what disagreements they have. Inside this mountain, they are all partners in a single, vital mission. The process is simple and profound. A country prepares a box of its most important seeds. They seal it and send it to Svalbard. The box is scanned and placed on a shelf. It will never be opened by the vault staff. It remains the property of the country that sent it. But there's a threat it guards against that most people never think about. It's not a sudden catastrophe. It's a slow, quiet disappearance. A silent extinction happening in fields all over the world. We call it genetic erosion. As farming has become more modern, we have focused on just a few high-yield types of each crop. Thousands of older, local varieties have simply vanished. They weren't planted anymore. And their unique skills were lost forever. The vault is our only way to stop this silent flood. This has a direct link to the food you eat. The apple you had this morning, or the corn in your meal tonight, likely comes from a very small number of commercial types. That lack of variety makes our food supply fragile. It's like building a city with only one kind of brick. By saving the old bricks, we give ourselves more options. Plant breeders can use the vault's collection to create new crops. They can build in resistance to heat or add more nutrients. They can breed plants that need less water. The past, frozen in this vault, is the toolbox for building a stronger future. So this place is not a museum for what we have lost. It is an active workshop for what we can create. It is a promise made by our generation to all the ones that will follow. A promise that they will have the tools to face their own challenges. Ultimately, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault is more than a building. It is a powerful symbol of foresight. It's a quiet testament to the idea that even in a divided world, humanity can come together to protect what is precious for everyone. It is a monument built not of stone, but of hope.